to get real.
Wintry weather rocks most of the U.S. Plus, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo coming under more fire for nursing home deaths in his state. And it's Fat Tuesday. But Mardi Gras is canceled. I'm Michelle Mortensen, and this is what you need to know right now, this Tuesday, February 16th, 2021. The weather across the nation is the big story of the day. More than a dozen people dead after extreme winter weather pummels the nation. Over in Texas, more than 4 million people are without power as snow and ice covers the ground. Freezing wind turbines that create the power there. People can't find food or water, and rolling blackouts due to deregulation efforts there are making people live in sub-zero temperatures without any heat whatsoever.
Winter is here.
You know, going green is really great, but you can't ever get rid of natural gas, coal, or nuclear power. And while deregulating commodities always sounds like a great capitalist idea, it isn't. It almost always raises rates, creates unstable power, and results in rolling blackouts when you can't afford to have them. Nevadans, you should be grateful we defeated Question 3 in 2018. And take note, you can't just buy into propaganda. Many conservatives bought the lie hook, line, and sinker in 2018, saying we needed to stop monopolies like NV Energy, but they really had no idea what the consequences would have been. Usually you don't find out until it's way too late. Just ask any Texan you know.
We're freezing in here. We want heat.
The winter weather wasn't just down south. North Carolina was hit with ice storms and a deadly tornado. And flights nationwide have been halted or delayed because winter is here, despite all that global warming.
I'll be shoveling 10 feet of global warming.
Calls for New York Governor Andrew Cuomo to resign are growing on a bipartisan level every single hour.
Because he's a douchebag.
Cuomo is accused of covering up nursing home deaths in the midst of the COVID crisis. This after the governor addressed the issue in a press conference yesterday, where he actually refused to take any direct responsibility for the nursing home deaths, but instead blamed toxic political atmosphere at the time.
That sounds made up.
He then went on to say this was all a non-controversy and said there didn't need to be an independent investigation by state lawmakers into whether or not he purposely withheld the information. Even though it's already come out from his own team, he did. Even the state attorney general found he fudged the numbers by almost half. Still, Cuomo denies any of this was on purpose. And he added, who cares where someone died?
Such a douche.
Meanwhile, Secretary of State Blinken says the U.S. is outraged after a rocket attack targeted a U.S. airbase in northern Iraq overnight. A contractor was killed and at least 9 people hurt, including a U.S. service member. More than a dozen missiles were launched last night, allegedly by a Shiite militia group.
This is not good.
President Biden extended the ban on housing foreclosures to June 30th to help homeowners during the pandemic. The ban was set to expire on March 31st. Now, almost 12% of homeowners who have mortgages have been late on payments, according to the census statistics. For perspective, that's about 10 million homeowners.
That's a lot.
While those numbers are bad, one logically has to ask the question, how long should we remain closed? How long should we prevent people from working and earning a living just because of fear of a virus? How many debts will banks have to just overlook? How many stimulus checks from the government will be needed to keep people afloat? Doesn't it just make more sense to open up?
It really does.
And do we even need any more stimulus or foreclosure extensions if the economy is so good in the midst of a pandemic? I mean, once again, stocks set records on Wall Street today.
Funds.
Now, if you're saying to yourself, you know what, none of this makes any sense, you're right. It doesn't. Stimulus checks and the government just making monopoly money has created a false sense of security and stability. But right now, we don't need the government to do anything but open up, because big government literally can't get us stable. It can only take away more freedoms and make you more dependent on politicians. And do you really want to be dependent on these guys?
No. Oh, ew.
In Nevada, the Clark County Commission considered today changing the name of the Las Vegas airport from McCarran International to Harry Reid International. Now, despite the votes in favor of this move by the commission that is made up of mainly Democrats who owe one to the former senator who has also made several racist comments in his life, the FAA will get the final say on this one and must approve the name change.
So, fingers crossed.
Finally, it's Fat Tuesday, but you'd never know it in New Orleans because Bourbon Street is barricaded and bars are closed down. Between the freezing weather and the coronavirus nonsense, Mardi Gras has been canceled. That's right. No beers, no boobs, no beads. Teenage boys everywhere are reportedly devastated.
Boobs. I just want to say that again. Boobs.
But that doesn't mean you can't partake in some gluttony today, because if you're Catholic, you got to know it's Ash Wednesday tomorrow, and that means you have to fast something. Now, I'm not Catholic, but I'm going to fast eating because this COVID-15 is turning into a COVID-150, and it's got to stop.
I've gotten bigger. Why do I even bother dieting?
And that's what you need to know right now. Remember, I'm here every single Monday through Thursday at 6:30 p.m. with the news you need the way you want it. Fast, fun, and free. I'll see you next time.
Time to get real.